And hey, Rosie, you got to reconnect your Facebook.
So what do I do? Like
I
I'm right.
don't know, but if you can somehow up there, do you see the little icon?
You know we are live, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I can go live on my Facebook, right? It looks like the
yeah,
stream is deleted from the Facebook.
yeah. Just gotta click it.
I click, okay, it's live.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about our show today. I think it's really exactly what everybody needs right now, and it's stuff that we focus on, stuff that pops up. And Rosie was asking me. She said, "Would you give me a little rundown for today's show?" And I said, "Absolutely not." Because it's a really, really impactful conversation. And so, you know what it's about? Well, let me share the title of the book. It was just released today. So obviously, I didn't have all the time to read it. I did read a lot of it, and I
The book
gained
was
so
released
much.
today.
The book was released today.
Is it Giggly
Um,
Squad? I'm just
what's
kidding.
that? Okay, so who recommended the book was someone I admire and people someone you would know, obviously. John Maxwell. We've all heard his name,
Mhm.
right? Maxwell Coaching and Leadership. And so he's actually the person who this book is dedicated to. And it's called, drum roll, please.
Did you hear that?
Right? Sorry. Oh,
I needed that. I just got a message from someone that I was annoyed at. I need this right now.
yeah, yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. When you see that title, is there someone that specifically comes to mind?
I don't know which one I'm pointing and who is getting pointed.
You pointed at me.
Now?
You're
Originally,
pointing at me,
originally, yeah.
Now?
Roger.
Me.
Actually, how about this?
Okay.
So we got
So I
someone.
will tell you why it's complicated. She called me at 101 and
Mm.
we had a conversation. At 124,
No,
she,
no, 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 wait a second. You called me at 101.
yes,
Clarify.
yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I called her at 101. See? You can't even make small error with her. And at 124, and I was like, okay, and you were saying, she said, what? I said, it seems like our conversation is not wrapped up. Um, I think this is called keeping things simple. Anyways, please ignore that. I'm
Rosie is
sorry.
a complicated person because we don't know what she's talking about.
That's how complicated she is.
Prove me wrong.
So I'm gonna give y'all some statistics, and I think you're gonna be blown away at the level of, or what exactly is a complicated person. So I'm gonna share the first statistic here. 1 in 2 people, 46%, report working with a complicated person daily or multiple times in a day.
Oh God.
Okay, can we just go back and what is the definition of the
I'm
complicated
I'm
person?
not going to share the complicated. That's what I want to get from you guys, because the definition of a complicated person is relative.
No.
It's a relative definition. There's no scientific definition for it.
How do we know the person complaining about the complicated person is not a complicated person
We know.
himself?
Well, you tell me, what comes to mind when you hear about somebody being complicated?
I'm gonna remember this conversation forever.
That would be pretty complicated. Okay, you know who's a complicated person to me? Someone that no matter what your answer, it's never enough. And then someone who won't stay on the conversation long enough for it to be resolved.
Mm,
So
mm.
for instance, let's say that we all had a problem, right? We had to resolve an issue. And this person is really interested in solving the issue, but leaves the conversation before the matter is resolved. That's a very complicated person to me.
Mm, mm. I don't know that I think people are complicated.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we're complex. It's
You're
complex.
such a sage.
No, but do I say people annoy me? Yes. That's a complicated person.
Wait, what does
That would be okay. Someone that annoys you would be your definition of a complicated person, right? But I know we maybe don't like that phrase,
Well,
complicated.
complicated means maybe something that's taking you out of your groove.
Oh,
well, what does annoying means?
Oh, well, it depends on the
well, we would have to get really Socratic and say, what is complicated? I like I like how you think. Obviously, you don't have a problem dealing with complicated people. This may just be for the other 99% of the world.
the other everyone else.
Yeah.
I think emotionally entangled person to me is a complicated person.
Let me give you a
What
definition
I
of
mean by
complicated.
that is emotionally entangled means someone who is stuck in complex thinking because they're not clear about what makes them happy. And on the surface level, they are showing frustration around things that are the implied, like it's almost like an implied message that, oh, I'm not having fun with this, or I'm not enjoying this is not going the way I want, because somewhere deep down they're covering up the fear. So that's what to me is a complicated person.
A complicated person, according to Google AI, a
Hang on.
complicated person is generally someone who is difficult to understand, predict, or navigate due to their personality, emotions, motivations, or behaviors. They might have a complex inner world, difficulty expressing themselves clearly, or exhibit patterns of behavior that are not easily explained.
Yeah, like the people who are always on this kind of roller coaster ride, they're
Yeah,
very complicated.
yeah,
Emotionally entangled, you guys agree? Ha ha ha.
yeah. Well, here's your next. 78% of people report working with a complicated person at least weekly. 77% of people believe complicated people in the workplace is a serious problem. So this statistic right here is enough reason for us to do the show, because if everyone's that's it, that's like 3 out of 4 people are perceiving others to be really complicated. And this is where I want to break it to us is, if you don't feel like there's a complicated person in your world, you're probably the one.
Uh, Let me make sure everybody is so messed up on my clock that I don't think a complicated person thinks that everybody else is easy. I think they find everything else complicated. Like in business, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. I think 99% of our work is navigating complexity of people's emotions.
Well, we had all these negative, statistics. Here's a positive one. 85% of people say it's important to work well with the complicated person for the success of the organization. So although there's a lot of them out there, we all believe that it's important to deal with this problem. And then complicated individuals are responsible for eroded unity, workplace morale, trust, and job satisfaction. Here's this. 1 in 2 people say working with a complicated person would cause them to hate their job.
Wait, 1 in 2 people say they deal with a complicated person every day, and then 1 in 2 people say working with a complicated person would cause them to hate their job. So one in
Yeah.
two people hate their job.
Yeah. That's how much it erodes workplace morale, trust. Like, people are probably looking at us and like, what's wrong with them? Are they even normal? Because the percentages are so high. So I'll tell you what I really believe it is. It's like a surgeon, right? If a surgeon is working on somebody and someone's acting up a little bit, wouldn't a surgeon he's got that empathic quality. Like, I have to comfort this person. They're going through so much right now. He wouldn't see their patient as having something wrong personality wise. This guy needs surgery. Of course he's freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little more empathy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I think being in the world of real estate and seeing that people are handling or handing their most valuable asset over to you or needing assistance with it, perhaps it is true that that bandwidth for us, like maybe we walk into that world thinking, of course, it's her wedding day, no wonder. Similarly,
So I have something to
a
add here.
wedding planner would probably be the same thing, I think.
I think it's wedding planners' responsibility to figure out the skills to work with complicated people. I think our world, Brie, I think you and I can easily agree on this. Well, Roger deals with both of us, so he probably has a different level of problems.
Oh, all day long.
All day long.
No, okay, so here's the thing.
No, I'm not done yet. Hold
Oh, what
on.
are you gonna say?
I was going to say something very important. So Phil Jones wrote a book called Exactly What to Say. I think he should write a book called Exactly What to Feel. But in that book, he talks about this triangle. And the triangle is one side is curiosity, one is courage, and one is empathy, right? The
Mm.
very first time I read the book, I was like, okay, so you got to be curious. You got to be curious about somebody's reason because people are reasons on why they're saying some things, right? And we got to have courage to ask the tough questions and come from a place where we don't fear losing them in the conversation. And then the one side was empathy. I said, oh, you got to be empathetic. But not until I read that book few times later, I realized that the biggest error in communication is going from curiosity to courage right away. Empathy
Oh,
is so if we are curious, we're like, oh, what makes you do that? Okay, all right, what happened last time? Okay, well, what would you like to see differently? What do you think was important to you that was ignored? Oh, now that you know everything, let's go ahead and do this thing because this is exactly what's going to be in your benefit, and most people are going to be afraid to tell you what the right thing to do is.
oh, they miss over the empathic.
But we think empathy is something you can just fit in wherever. I think the
A
moment
process.
yeah, the moment I'm curious and somebody has just now opened up, it is now the time to open up that empathetic conversation and no, to be empathetic with that person so that they feel understood and heard before we earn the right to ask for business. I think one of my mentors, she says it all the time. She said, you got to earn the right to ask.
I think Juan is a very empathic person.
One is like, just in case you haven't seen my hello, here it is. Hi Juan, what's up, man? What you doing? I just so enjoy seeing the people I hang out with all the time come on my live and say hi.
I love those people. I love them definitely. So, 44% of people quit their job due to a complicated boss.
Wow.
You're a decade in.
That's
And
crazy.
listen, I'm 20 years married this month. Bree, you're 10 years married into this. See? Isabel, I love you. Thank you for agreeing with what I said. We just rush from what you call it, curiosity to courage right away.
Mhm.
Like Bree's like, hey, you doing okay? Hey, I need your help. Empathy is like gone. Like she saves all the empathy for the people she works with. With me, she has like, you don't need empathy.
I know. Poor Rosie, poor my family. They don't get any empathy from me.
They're like, you can get over it. But you don't want to get over it? Okay, take your time. Fine. Whenever you're ready, let me know. But I
Well,
think this is something that's very important for us to acknowledge. We got to earn the right to ask. You don't have to earn the right with me, Roger and Bree. You guys have like this birthright you think over me. That's fine. But for other people, you do.
hey, so w- I, am I missing something?
What?
I got confused.
You're missing the whole point.
What did you just say? I,
You're missing
are
the
you
point.
saying you're complicated? Sorry. I was trying so hard to follow along.
Well, everybody else seemed to follow along. The comments were like they understood me.
Okay, no. Okay, so you're saying that we skip over the empathic part.
Yeah.
We make it too much of a process. Jump over it. Or think of it as how would
We
you
think curiosity is a checkpoint.
a checkpoint.
Let's just check that box and now we can go to ask for business, which is not, it hasn't worked for me till now, till
I
today.
think you have to really be curious.
Wait. Who has the right? Look at Beth has
You,
the,
Beth. You, Beth. You have the right.
you have the right.
Yeah, that's what I was
Beth is like,
the right to what?
Beth is straight to courage. She said we don't. She's straight ask. Who has the right? No courage, no curiosity, no empathy, nothing. Go straight to courage. Oh gosh, I love her.
Beth is one of the funniest people I feel like I've known. She's got a great sense of humor.
Rosie, why are
Okay, so how do we deal? I think we got the statistics down pretty well of who complicated people are. And probably at this point now, you guys are curious, how do we deal with complicated people?
Yes, I am curious.
Rosie, I'd like to know what you think. How do we deal with complicated people?
The very first question I asked myself, do I really want to solve this problem? I'm- so this podcast has actually went from being a podcast to a behind the scenes conversation. So I generally ask myself, do I really want to solve this problem?
Yeah.
Or I'm okay being wrong as long as we get to the end point.
Desired outcome.
Yeah. If I
Okay.
have made the decision that in that conversation that, you know what? I'm not going to just move through this. I'm going to solve this. I want to really understand the other person and I want to solve this for good because it can become more complicated later.
Yeah.
Then in that moment, the very first thing I have to kill is my ego. I have to completely detach from feeling the need to be right.
Yeah.
So when that goes away, then naturally I don't feel the attack in the conversation. So I'm able to ask the questions to come from curiosity, and something magical just happens where the other person feels so heard and safe. And the moment somebody feels safe with us, I feel like the complexity of the things goes away because the whole reason people act complicated is because they're not feeling safe.
Hmm.
Creating safety for people in our presence is the most important thing. And I think one of the things that
Safety. Creating safety for people.
safety for people, yeah, they should feel safe in our presence.
So these are the top three traits. And Bree, Rosie, I'd love for y'all to share wherever possible. But the top three traits and a few more. The top three are unwillingness to learn, change, or grow. So that's what the respondents. That's what they said. The hardest things of the things that they didn't enjoy about working with complicated people are the unwillingness to learn, change, or grow, followed by overly critical, lazy, poor communication skills, and manipulative behavior.
Is this written down? Okay.
Unwillingness to learn, change, or grow were the top three.
Unwillingness to learn, change, or grow.
Yeah.
These are the three traits of complicated people.
Yeah.
Brie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that it would be complicated to deal with someone who's not willing to learn, change, or grow because, I mean, honestly, we're always learning. Oh, sorry, this is. Sorry, now I want to read what you have on the
Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it.
PhD. Okay, can I read it? You deal
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the process Rosie shared. Curious, ask questions, courage, Be honest with your position, with what they're expecting and what you believe you can offer. Then empathy, meet them where they are at, and then leave them there.
Hello? Hello. Goodbye. Okay, can I sum up these top three traits into something else, Brie?
Sure.
They're just not open.
Ah,
They don't want to learn. They're so closed-minded. They don't want to grow. Closed-minded. They don't want to change. Closed-minded. It's just they're just closed people. And I think closed mind or rigid behavior is a sign of fear.
Yeah.
It means they're not feeling safe.
Mhm.
They feel the need to hold on to opinions so hard. Like Roger and I, well, I can say I more than Roger. I'm a big fan of Rick Rubin.
hmm
You know who Rick Rubin is? I love him.
I like him just because my brother's name is Rick.
Slick Rick.
Yeah, Slick
I think
Rick.
Rick Rubin, he is my like mental mentor. Like I have just made him my mentor. He doesn't need to know this.
He doesn't know.
Yes, so he says, Brie, that find something that you can stand your grounds on and then argue the opposite. People are scared to grow, but then will admit they aren't happy where they're at. Yeah, exactly. They're like, let me just create my own misery. I want to change, but I don't want to change. So what I'm really trying to get to is that um, sometimes Brie, imagine that you found a moment where you got to come to realization to something. You say, oh my gosh, I finally get it. This makes sense. And all the dots connected, and you feel so strongly and convicted about that realization or information or whatever it is, right? You have those strong aha moments and you're like, oh, I get it now. And you have all the evidences to support that. So Rick Rubin was saying, find that and then argue the opposite. What if what I found was completely wrong?
Mm.
First of all, there is like that mental FU that happens.
Can you imagine married couples doing this?
Yes.
Your reaction was priceless.
Bree. Yes. And you know what it looks like? Evening walks to finish your 10,000 steps. And in the middle of the walk, we can walk the longest together in the opposite directions. And
Hey,
then
you know what? I got it now. I got it. From now on, I'm going to say, okay, argue the opposite when I disagree with her.
Bree, he's not that nice. You saw the day he was picking up wine bottles. You saw his second side. Don't forget that. Roger 2.0.
Don't forget.
No. Roger 3.0. 3.0. One is here, one that who's artistic, and the one that you see when
See, don't let them surprise you. See, Roger has different attitudes. Don't develop the healthy expectation. Know what
no,
to expect.
can I make a correction in this statement? Whoever wrote this book needs to talk to me real quick. Develop healthy expectations. No. Develop no expectations.
Expectations. Yeah. Expect nothing.
Expect nothing.
Okay. Boom.
Ha.
Oh, first develop a healthy expectation, then do a detox. What kind of nonsense is this? How about no expectation from the beginning?
What kind of nonsense?
You said you wanted to talk to the author of the book?
Well, surprise! He's coming in. Just kidding. Okay, cool.
Right, nonsense is not a good word. Like,
It's just funny.
Hey,
it was supposed
how
to
about
be
this
wicked,
one?
Paul.
What evidence do you have they will change? There are no signs of it to change. No audiobooks, no extras, no goals, no signs.
Did you write this or was this in the book?
Yeah, that was what I gathered from what he said. Those are the points he mentioned. He says, what would cause us to have, we don't have any signs that they're willing to change.
Mm-hmm.
Where are our expectations coming from? And
Oh,
so let's go
interesting.
on an expectation detox. Let's let go of all our expectations.
No, okay, they can do alcohol detox. If you don't drink alcohol, you don't need an alcohol detox. So what I'm still stuck on this. Why is he wanting us to develop healthy expectations and then do a detox?
No,
Zero
he's saying no,
expectations.
he's not saying he's okay. So we would have okay, what are healthier expectations? I'll share those with you, right? So the healthier acts the alternative is you come from curiosity, right? And then you ask questions and try to find out what makes them what is making them I don't like the word tick, but
I like
approach
it.
the relationship with humility and ask why are they behaving this way. So asking why are they behaving this way, and then he goes into something really cool. Let me see if I can share it with you here. Okay,
Asking someone why
check
you're
it out.
behaving this way is a very combative way to talk. I
Are
wouldn't
they
say that.
are they combative or are they honest? Are they indecisive or are they analytical? Are they loud or are they passionate? Are they disorganized or are they creative? Are they weak or do they care?
You know the answer to this? It
Hmm.
depends on how you view the person.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who are very like very some people would say combative, but then
Hmm.
you say, "Oh, that's just how they are. They're just honest." Why
Oh,
do you
make excuses for them.
you're like, "Oh, that's you accept them as they are," right? So to you, it
Ah,
doesn't bother you that they are
bingo.
loud, that they are passionate about something. Oh, that they're disorganized, but yet they create something. You don't say that because now you have some care. You care about
Oh,
them. I don't know. That's how I feel sometimes.
yeah.
People,
You don't have the same expectations over them.
right? You allow them to just be
You
who
know
they
what's really interesting, Bree? I bet you anything there's someone out there right now who is loud and assertive, and their family loves them that way. They crack everyone up. Their assertiveness and their directness cracks everyone up. And that's the reason why they're loved in their personal life. And then they have how you show up in one place is how you show up everywhere. Then they take that same personality to work, and someone's like, well, she's just not my kind of person.
I think so.
So how do we fix that?
Hold on. We're saying that one person is accepted, loud, and assertive in the house, and then they go professionally and they behave the same way, and the world is like, well, I don't like her. She's too direct, blah, 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 blah. So, how
Mhm.
do we fix that? I don't think we fix anything.
For anything to be
I
fixed.
don't, I don't think there is, well, if I am ready to fix something, then I better be ready to fix the 7 billion people. Because whatever I fixed in one person, I'm going to find it wrong in the second, on the third, and good luck. This lifetime is over. The very first thing I can do is fix myself. That's where I would start. I would expand my understanding of somebody's behavior. And if I want to have a good experience, it's 100% my responsibility that I develop a perspective that allows me to navigate around it. And I don't have to go around and fix everybody's behavior. Um, I don't, one thing I've still not been able to do is put people in a box.
Oh
Bria
my
has,
gosh. You weren't looking when I put that there.
yeah, I did not. See, I thank you. That was the right thing to talk about. So, Brie, listen, I still have a hard time saying, that's how they always are.
Oh, you don't
Because
say that?
no, I have a very strong cognitive error with that. And here's why. Because the day they're choosing to be different, I have already boxed them. Brie, we used to talk about it all the time that don't hold opinions about people because the next day they're showing up in a different way and you're not giving them a chance to be different. We rob them of all possibilities the moment we box people in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is my experience. I didn't read it from the book.
Yeah.
And the experience started by working with you first.
Bree? Well, guys, that reminds me of the book that I'm reading or have read a few weeks back, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel, because Bree, you mentioned it on the show, and I had it sitting in my bookshelf, and I felt like it was calling my name. And I'm just going to quickly go over the four agreements because I think it really aligns with those. But first off, be impeccable with your word. And so I think one way we can counter somebody's personality, especially in a workplace environment, is by keeping it professional to some degrees. Now, maybe that's not someone's idea of a good time, but we really do go to work on a mission and to further progress in something. And so perhaps keeping it some bit professional, especially with someone maybe we're not getting along with, would allow us to at least do our work. And then second thing is not to take anything personally. And this is one of my favorites.
You not swing to the next one. Can I guess the next one?
Mhm.
Always do your best.
That's the last one. There's one in the middle.
It's one of them. Is
You
this
want to
did
guess?
I read this one?
Huh?
Did I read this one, Rosie? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
I don't remember this.
Don't make assumptions. I guess that would be one, right? When we're making assumptions about somebody's
That
nature.
is all. That's the whole problem of figuring complicated people out.
And the
Two
last
things. I
one.
think two things out of this. Number one, taking personally. When somebody is complicated personally, thinking that this is on me, like they are saying it to me, that hurts. Number two, making assumptions that, oh, maybe I did something, or maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not. Always just blaming yourself for something. I was like, let's not blame them. Let's not blame me. Let's just delete blame.
Yeah, let's just do our best work.
Yeah, that's your best word. Like yesterday, I was having a very hard time, and Roger was like, you're trying, and people think that I don't have my tough moments. I have my tough moments very much time, and Roger gets a good rodeo off that.
Yeah, but who doesn't? Everybody has a
And uh, and I think what Roger really helped me yesterday with was he said you're I don't know. He said so many things in so many different ways, but all of that was coming down to is that stop attaching any emotion to what you're doing. Just do the work. Like don't measure it, don't think it, don't try to make anything. Just do what's needed. And once you've done it, and just say, I did everything. And then it's funny sometimes. It reminds me of conversations you and I have, Brie. Like I was like, you know what? That's what she was doing. You know what? I'm just gonna do everything that's needed in the moment, and we'll just see what happens next. It was almost like a carefree, not careless, but a carefree moment. And sometimes I forget how to be that way, and I have to be reminded. That's why it's important to be around people who know how to be that way.
yeah.
And this was Rosie on Monday morning at the beginning of the meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this was her at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
But I think also like what were you saying, Rosie? That just do your best work. That reminded me of Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. I think if there's any book that I read in the last 5 years that really brought things into perspective for me was Meditations, because the guy was an emperor and he was struggling with doing his work. So a lot of people would read that journal entry and maybe not really understand what's happening there. He's talking to himself. He's trying to pump himself up. He's trying to correct the narrative in between his ears. And he's like, hey, just get to work. Just finish it. Everyone, all the birds and bees and everything are out searching for food on the hunt. And, all of nature is that way. And if we could be more like nature, then, and just see that whatever we're doing is natural. And and I mean, I don't know if anyone really has it easy, you know? You can always find people who, and I don't know, maybe it's just culturally, like, I remember growing up, culturally meaning, the older generation that taught us. I remember my grandma would always say, hey, there's someone that's got it worse than you. Stop complaining. Did y'all's grandma ever tell y'all that?
Yeah.
My grandma always told me that. She'd always say, hey, you got no reason to complain. Somewhere in the world, someone doesn't even have what you have. Be grateful.
The only thing I was told if I ever bitch and complain, they're like, shut up, get over it. What's wrong?
I had these deep philosophical conversations with my grandparents.
No, seriously, that's all the counseling I got. You still not over it? Too bad.
That's so sad. This is a trauma laugh, okay?
That's how we ended up together. Nature knew you needed somebody who had good grandparents. Well, guys, I mean, and okay, I just want to get a feel in the room. Do you feel like this conversation is applicable to where you are, and how so? And what's the benefit of more people having these conversations? Because the book was just released today again, and I feel like it's a much needed thing. If people could start to see beyond themselves and start to see people as reasons rather than always just going around labeling people, and meeting them where they're at. Because sometimes that what we're seeing as a dysfunction, if we rephrase it, like I used to get bugged by analytical people, right? And but I had a different way of explaining it to myself at that time. Like I said, they were anal but they were analytical. And now some of my best friends are analytical after
Guys.
rephrasing it.
Analytical.
That's what exactly. Analytical. We are about to make some enemies today.
Good.
We're about to make some enemies today. Is that what you said?
That means we're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, growing up, that's what I was thinking was, man, just here, hand me that. What are you doing? Why are you overthinking it? Let's just get it done. Like, why are you stuck on the details of it? You know, it's the right thing to do. Come on, let's do it.
And now you're
And-
analytical.
Huh?
And now you're analytical.
Really? You think so?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
Oh, my mind is blown right now. For real?
For real, for real.
Rosie, you think he's analytical?
I think he is very deeply analytical thinker. And Brie, the fact that he doesn't think that.
That's probably why you used to get annoyed with people.
I'm the complicated guy. I'm the complicated guy that's working with y'all.
No, you probably just recognized something in them that was part of you that you didn't notice.
There is.
Okay. I think there's a difference between gathering insight and then my decisions aren't really necessarily based on that insight. Like right now, if we were going on vacation, I'd say, yeah,
you would
just
not
book it.
you would not pick any restaurant. I know this for a fact.
Yes, Brie.
Like,
and
okay,
if
whatever.
it's time to pick a restaurant, how many restaurants would he check out?
And then we would go in a restaurant and then leave us there.
I did that?
Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh.
And he's
You know-
like, Brie, is that not being analytical?
There's nothing on the menu. Do you remember that? The
Yes.
first one we walked into?
Oh, Brie, is that not analytical?
A little bit, yeah.
Honey, why are you disappointed? Because you know why? His identity is that he's not analytical. He's the easiest going guy.
You are easygoing and you're analytical. You're multifaceted. We are
Really?
all so complex people. We are all everything. Honestly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm crazy Brittany, and then sometimes I have a stick up my butt about something. You're
so stoic. I feel like you were born in India and somehow you transported here.
Didn't you know?
You're
Hello?
like, we are everything.
This is how we became friends.
Exactly.
So, honey, today I have something on live recorded. Who is analytical?
I'm the complicated guy working with y'all.
We're all
Let me tell you what Brie is.
We're all complicated.
Bree's like, let me borrow an analytical brain.
Yeah, please do
It's
not.
time to analyze something. You want to analyze it with me? So she's that. She is, how quickly can I get out of this complexity?
Yes.
It's like, what is the fastest way? Let's get out. And that's exactly what sometimes is needed in the moment. Like somebody who's ready to move things forward. Hey, it's
Yeah.
already solved. Let's move forward. That's what we wanted. You forgot.
That's what we want.
Yeah. She's like, hey, remember complicated person? You forgot. You wanted the simplicity. It's here. Just get it. Well, you can be complex again, but just
Hey, what's Rosie?
What
just
is
for a second, just step into this box, okay? For a simple moment.
Oh, Beth, I'm imagining your laugh now.
Oh
We
yeah,
need Beth
Beth
on
is
the
like
show.
rolling
We
over
need
her chair in circles, and then Roger is like listening to all of this, and he's like, "Hmm, let me tell you something. How
What about
I'm
you, Rosie? What about you?
well. How can oh look at eyebrows flashing?
to.
Well, who am I to tell me about me? You guys tell me.
No, you know yourself very well.
I feel
I'm
like you
analytical
don't
when
do
I'm
well with
needed to be one.
complicated people.
I'm analytical when I'm needed to be one.
And then when she's not needed to be one, she's Miss Free Spirit. La-di-da-di-da. Yes, that is so you, Rosie.
Go.
I'm there all the time.
When her hat is on, it's like, whoops. Yep. Mhm.
Who's that?
Also it. Whoops. That's your analytical hat, you know? When you're ready to
Guys, I
analytical-
feel like y'all are full of
God,
shit.
Bree. People don't need to know this. Oh God, this is a very dangerous podcast. Oh gosh, I'm gonna die. So
Oh, that's funny.
We're gonna be doing that all day today.
That's
I
gonna be
needed
the
this. I needed this.
new thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so to conclude,
Yeah.
Conclude is that we all are complicated people. And when we see others to be complicated, it's because we are complicated. And I think our desire to be happy is 100% in our flexibility to understand other people.
100.
Perfect. Beautifully stated. Rosie, you want to tell everybody about Coffee Social?
Yes. So Coffee Social is coming back, guys. May 2nd is our Coffee Social. We finished first 12 weeks. We're launching our next 12 weeks on May 2nd. And we have made some of the best friends, best memories hanging around together. And in last 4 weeks, I cannot tell you every Friday, the messages we get is like, are you guys back on? Are you guys back on? So we're going to be back on in exactly 2 weeks. Can't wait to bring the new vibe, new intellect, new experience, and new ways to grow together this time. So
Hey guys, I want to party again. That was fun.
That was so fun.
I'm
I-
talking about Coffee Social in the middle of it. You just hijacked it, you analytical person. And let me tell y'all something that y'all don't know. And now I'm going to tell on you. Stay right here. So, Bree, if I'm having a tough conversation with someone, okay, so I'm in the middle of the negotiations. Somebody's talking to me, and I'm talking to them, and I'm solving this intense problem. This guy right here, in the middle of the business planning, I don't know where he finds the brain space. He tracks my whole conversation. What did I say? How did I say it? What could I have done differently? And I'm about to get a full rundown from him, and this is how it looks like. I'm done with the call and I'm caught off guard. Oh my gosh, you heard everything? And then he's like, if this happens, that means I did really good. Okay. But then otherwise, if it's like a stone face, it means I fucked up. And I'm about to get 30-minute lecture around how I could have done it better.
Well, you spend all your time teaching me everything you know. Gotta hold you
Well,
accountable.
seriously.
If we had an AI otter doing a talk time, I promise you this, my talk time would be this much, his would be this much.
I'm quiet.
I'm
I'm-
afraid to say.
I am the neutral third party. I love you both.
Hey, I just need you to do what's right, Bree.
See, I don't get that joke. Brie, what is that?
That
That's
means
a
wink,
cry
wink.
for help.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, we delivered 44 minutes and 54 seconds. 44, 55. 44 minutes or 55 seconds of high value information. Guys,
We're unhinged today.
Hey, also, there's probably a good chance we're going to be in Houston on the 28th.
not at all.
Do we want to announce that?
I thought we said we were not doing.
Y'all said y'all weren't?
Honey, you are so mean. Like you would blast it like that. We decided on Monday.
I literally decided no.
That's how analytical I am.
That he decided
We
to
will analyze it one more time.
analyzed it and said we're gonna actually do.
Yeah, it
All
will
right.
you would be going.
Okay.
While we would love to do that, we believe that maybe there's a better time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Perfect. All right, guys. That's 45 minutes and 58 seconds.
I've missed our podcast, everyone. I'm glad to see your beautiful faces today and laugh our little butts off and learn and grow together.
And thank you for a mind-throbbing conversation, Roger. And Bree, thanks for being real.
All right, guys. Bye.